Happy 4th of July, my brother.
Happy 4th to you, my brother. How's everything going?
Very good, very good. So while you and I are hanging out doing nothing, Mario Cristobal continues. So what do we got here? Hilton Stubbs, Darion Coleman. We're waiting for another guy. Like, what the hell? Does this guy ever does he sleep, or does he just walk around with a mattress tied to his back, and whenever he feels like napping, he just throws himself down for a couple minutes and stands right back up again and keeps going? What is it, bro? Does he live on Cuban coffee? What's going on?
This is all part of modern day college football. You don't stop working, and you plan. This is all really good planning by him and his staff to make sure that during the 4th of July weekend we're talking about them, because this is when kids commit. This is the time after all the recruiting visits are taken and all the money is discussed and NIL this and NIL that. This is when kids say, okay, this is when I'm going to commit and lock in with a school. At least the top ones do it. And so Hilton Stubbs is a top 100 kid, number 6 overall safety in the country in this coming cycle. Big pickup for them because, replacing Cam Kitchens isn't easy. They have a really young secondary this year. I like Zaquan Patterson, who's another top 100 kid, but part of the 2024 cycle. This kid gives them another top 100 safety. So it was important pickup for them. They're going to add probably another top 100 player here at noon when S.J. Alafatuli, the number 1 center in the country, announces his commitment. It's either going to be Miami, Nebraska, or Michigan. So, look, this is just the way it is. It's like everything is pre-planned. These kids really commit when they come down and they're at camps and they're here on their visit, and they say, okay, I want to announce it on the 4th of July, or I want to, like Darion Coleman, I want to announce it July 3rd because that's my 17th birthday. And so it's all pre-planned, but a lot of these things are done well in advance. So, and these kids, it's just about getting the payments, right? The NIL payments and what they're going to be making and all that, and getting that finalized so that when they make the commitment, they're ready to go, and they're here in December, January, ready to start playing football for Miami.
Okay, all right. And the guy that could commit. Some of these kids are like 2026.
Yeah, well, Darion Coleman is 2026, and
Right.
that's I'm actually writing about that right now. I'm writing about all
86 times from now till 2026.
He could, but here's the thing. There's 22 blue chip quarterbacks in the 2026 class right now, guys that are considered 4-star or better, and 11 of them are already committed. What's happening in college football, and I talked about this on Tuesday with you, is that these coaches are trying to start recruiting, and it's just an arms race. It's the way it is. Everything gets sped up. It's a competition, right? You compete for 2025. Well, guess what? You're also competing for 2026. And what you're trying to do more than anything else, is get these kids to start recruiting for you. And quarterbacks are a big piece of that. Every top wide receiver, every offensive lineman wants to go play with a top quarterback. So if you can get them committed 18 months in advance, and then they can start helping you recruit the 26 guys, or the juniors, then that's the way it is, and it's just the way it works, and it's the new way of college football. But for all the fans who are like, man, who cares? He's a 2020. Well, guess what? 11 of the 22 top quarterbacks are already committed. They're already going to Georgia and Texas, and so if you don't have a guy, then you're behind. And Mario never wants to be behind.
And if and in the end, if Mario has a really good season, then we won't have to worry about decommits and all that kind of stuff. If he has a shitty season and some of the crap that's gone on the first couple of years continues, then that's when you'll start losing guys and they won't help you. So really, in the end, he's got a great chance of locking all of this in as long as he follows it up with winning, because then they see, okay, I'm going to a winning program. They're going to make me better, and they're going to prepare me for the next level, because as you know, every one of these kids thinks they're playing on Sundays.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing, is there's so many people around them trying to cash in. There's so many people around them, inflating their head and telling them, "Oh, you're the greatest. You don't need to put up with this." There's one thing that I remember that Randy Shannon told me 20 years ago, with recruiting, and this is when recruiting was just beginning to blow up. He says, "Manny," he goes, "when I get them in the building, I've got to unrecruit them. I've basically got to tell them, you haven't done jack shit yet. You're a high school punk who's coming into my program, and now you really got to earn it." So it's a catch-22, because obviously they want these guys, so they got to kind of give them all the attention that they want, and they got to talk NIL and give them money and the whole thing. But at the same time, they got to humble them once they're in the door and say, you haven't done anything yet. You got to earn it.
I'm with you. All right. One more thing. The process for Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much can you explain it in layman's terms to us? Like, it's the summertime. There's nothing going on yet. He's in this process of doing this. So how does he go about scheduling all this kind of stuff and the recruiting process of all of this to meet all these kids?
Well, Dennis Smith is his right-hand man and the guy that runs basically the recruiting department for Miami. So he's got other guys. He's got other people around him. It's hiring the right people who obviously know what it takes to get all this done in an orderly fashion. You have the NIL people, you have the recruiting people, you have the position coaches, you have the assistant position coaches. It's a matter of planning. And so for Mario looks at the board and he identifies the guys that he really wants. He tells Dennis, these are the guys we prioritize. These are the guys we're going to make our best effort to get. These are the guys we're going to wait on to make a decision. And these are the backups. And so it's just a matter of being highly organized. A head coach nowadays, it's not just spinning up a game plan on Saturday. It's not just talking about how you're going to, put pressure on the opposing quarterback or, your blocking schemes for this particular defense. It's how do we organize this whole gigantic mess of player personnel and keeping guys happy?
You got visits, you got 7-on-7 camps, you've got other kind of camps going on, and then you want your specific visits with each guy. So there's so much shit going on that you've got to schedule all this stuff. Jesus Christ.
Listen, why do you think so many guys don't want to coach in college anymore?
Exactly.
It's not coaching. It's a mix of both. You are a player personnel / coach. You coach on Saturdays, but 6 days out of the week, you are a player personnel guy. And that's unfortunately the way it is. And that's why college football coaches have been fighting for a long time now to change the rules. You can't just have 10 assistants. Look at the staffs in the NFL. How many coaches do the Dolphins have?
Like 23 or something.
Do any of them have to do anything with player personnel, or do they just coach?
No, they just coach. They just coach.
Imagine if every single one of those guys had to also go out and sign these guys as free agents and find the next rookie class. So,
because Greer and all those guys aren't coaching; they're scouting or they're taking care of all that. So there's a whole group of other men that are doing that. Yeah.
So the next time you criticize a college head coach, realize the difference between his job and the guy who's coaching on Sundays. It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference.
Big time. Big time. All right, what do you got going on in The Athletic so folks can check it out?
Yeah, I just wrote a big article on some of the 2026 kids from last week at the Bradenton IMG Academy Future 50. Two of the best athletes in the country, including Derek Cooper, who's a guy here from out of South Florida. Looks like Florida State is kind of his early leader, them in Georgia. But a really unique athlete, him and Keyshawn Henderson, a kid who's going to go to Houston to play quarterback. But just tremendous athletes. And then I'm going to have a story on quarterbacks, the 2026 class, the one that I was just telling you about. That'll be coming out sometime early next week.
All right, there you go. Good stuff as always. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. And, of course, subscribe to The Athletic. Manny, have a great weekend, my brother. Thank you for taking some time.
Anytime, man. Take care.
You got it. Caneswear, baby. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off anything in the store, online or in person. And remember, online, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. And they've got your Florida Panthers championship gear, and they've got your InterMiami gear. They are Miami Fanwear. Caneswear is at Miami Fanwear. And Miami Fanwear has InterMiami gear, has Miami Heat gear, Miami Dolphins, Miami Marlins, Florida Panthers, and almost anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. So our next championship caliber type team, and the one that you want to ride that wave, is InterMiami, baby, right here. InterMiami. So if you want to get yourself a jersey, shirts, hats, flags, they got all kinds, car flags. They've got all kinds of stuff, stickers, bracelets, you name it. They've got a lot of stuff for InterMiami that you can take advantage of. So you can cheer them on all the way to the MLS Cup. Go visit the store, caneswear.com. And, of course, go their Twitter page. You can subscribe, Canes_wear. And of course, use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.